All right, so you've been doing a little reading and you're seeing all this stuff online about how unusual smells could mean cancer.
Uh-huh.
And like anyone, you're probably a little freaked out by it all and want to know what's really going on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, you've come to the right place because today we are diving deep into an article we found called 8 Cancer Smells You Shouldn't Ignore, a guide to early detection.
That's a pretty catchy title.
Yeah, it definitely caught our eye too. So we're going to break it all down for you, explain the science behind it, and hopefully put your mind at ease a little bit.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The article lists 8 specific smells that could potentially be linked to cancer. Some of them are pretty common, like bad breath or changes in urine odor. But then there are some that are a little more usual, like a metallic smell or a fishy body odor.
Yeah, I was reading about that metallic smell. It's pretty wild.
Right, so is there actually any truth to this? Like, can our sense of smell really help us detect cancer?
Well, it's not quite as simple as if you smell this, you have cancer.
Okay, good, because I was starting to get a little worried.
But there is some scientific evidence to suggest that certain smells can be associated with certain types of cancer.
So how does that work?
So basically, our bodies are constantly producing these things called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs for short.
VOCs.
VOCs. And these VOCs are released through our breath, our sweat, our urine, you name it.
Okay.
Now, when our cells are functioning normally, the types and amounts of VOCs that are released are pretty consistent.
Makes sense.
But when something goes wrong, like when cancer cells start to grow, the production of VOCs can change.
So cancer cells release different VOCs than healthy cells.
Exactly. And sometimes these changes in VOCs can be detected through our sense of smell.
Wow, that's fascinating. So it's like our bodies are sending out these little signals
Yeah, exactly. Like a little warning flag.
that we can actually pick up on with our noses.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these specific smells that the article mentions. First up, we have fruity breath. Now, I know that fruity breath is often associated with diabetes, but the article says it could also be a sign of liver or kidney cancer.
Yeah, that's true. So with diabetes, fruity breath is caused by high levels of ketones in the blood.
Right.
And ketones have a kind of sweet, fruity smell.
Like nail polish remover almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, certain types of cancer, like liver cancer and kidney cancer, can also disrupt the body's metabolic processes.
Okay.
And this can lead to the buildup of ketones in the blood, just like in diabetes.
So basically, the same smell could be caused by 2 very different things.
Right. And that's why it's so important to pay attention to other symptoms as well.
So if you have fruity breath and you're also experiencing fatigue or jaundice or unexplained weight loss,
Uh-huh.
that's when you really need to see a doctor.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what about that metallic smell you mentioned earlier?
Ah, yes, the metallic smell. So this one is often described as smelling like blood or like pennies.
Pennies, really?
Yeah, or like a metallic taste in your mouth.
Interesting.
And this metallic smell can be associated with blood cancers like leukemia and lymphoma because these cancers affect the production and breakdown of red blood cells.
Yeah.
And when red blood cells break down, they release iron and other compounds that can create that metallic odor.
So it's like the smell of iron in your blood.
Pretty much.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about fishy body odor? This one sounds particularly unpleasant.
Yeah, this one is definitely not a good sign. So fishy body odor can be a symptom of a genetic condition called trimelamminuria, or TME for short.
TMAU.
Yeah, basically people with TMAU can't break down a compound called trimethylamine.
And trimethylamine smells fishy.
Exactly. So it builds up in their body and gets released through their sweat, their breath, their urine. It's everywhere.
Oh gosh, this sounds awful.
Yeah, it's a tough condition to live with.
So what does this have to do with cancer?
Well, TMAU itself isn't cancer.
Okay.
But some studies have suggested that people with TMAU might be at an increased risk for certain types of cancer.
Interesting. So it's like a risk factor.
Yeah, exactly. More research is needed to confirm this link, but it's definitely something to be aware of.
Okay, what about a musty smell?
So a musty smell can be caused by a lot of different things like fungal infections or poor hygiene.
Right.
But in some cases, it can also be associated with skin cancer or lung cancer.
Okay.
For example, some skin cancers can develop sores or lesions that emit a musty odor.
Uh-huh.
And certain lung cancers can cause a persistent musty breath odor.
So again, it's all about paying attention to the context.
Right.
Like if you have a musty smell and you also have a persistent cough or shortness of breath,
Exactly.
that's when you need to get it checked out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move on to ammonia-like urine. Now, I know that this can be a sign of a urinary tract infection,
Yeah, UTIs are very common.
but could it also be a sign of cancer?
So most of the time, ammonia-like urine is just a UTI, which can be easily treated with antibiotics.
Okay, good.
But if the smell persists even after treatment,
Uh-huh.
or if it's accompanied by other urinary symptoms like blood in the urine or pain during urination,
Yeah.
then it could be a sign of something more serious like bladder cancer or kidney cancer.
Okay, so basically don't ignore persistent changes.
Exactly.
Got it.
Mhm.
What about changes in stool odors? Is that something to be concerned about?
Well, changes in stool odors are pretty common and usually nothing to worry about.
Okay.
I mean, our diets can have a big impact on how our stool smells.
Right.
But if you notice a persistent and significant change in stool odor,
Uh-huh.
especially if it's accompanied by other digestive symptoms like blood in the stool or abdominal pain,
Yeah.
then it could be a sign of a digestive issue like colon cancer.
Okay, so again, it's all about patterns.
Right.
Knowing your own body.
Exactly.
Okay, last but not least, we have a burning smell.
Uh,
What's the connection there?
So this one can be a little tricky because a burning smell can be caused by a variety of things,
Huh.
like an infection, a reaction to a medication, even just heartburn.
Right.
But in rare cases, a burning smell, especially in the breath, could be linked to lung cancer,
Okay.
especially if it's accompanied by other respiratory symptoms like coughing up blood or shortness of breath.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here, and it's clear that our sense of smell can provide some valuable insights into our health.
Definitely.
But I think the biggest takeaway is that it's all about being aware of changes and not panicking over every little smell.
Exactly. It's about knowing your own body and paying attention to any unusual or persistent changes.
And if you do notice something that's concerning, talk to your doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. Early detection is key when it comes to cancer.
Well said. So knowing what you know now, what's one small step you can take to be more in tune with your body's signals? It could be as simple as taking a moment each day to really pay attention to how you feel inside and out. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more healthy inspirations. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.